Hello everybody, my name is whimreaper and welcome back to another build video. Today I'm doing a build for my 100 baby challenge series. I actually did do this build a very long time ago, so if I say anything and it turns out to not actually be what I end up doing, please forgive me. This is going to be part 1 of 2 because this build is just so gigantic that I could not fit all of the exterior build and all of the furnishing in one video without cutting out way too much from one or the other. So this is going to be the exterior. If you are waiting for the furnishing video and you don't care about exteriors, that should be up very shortly, probably about a 3-day gap usually between these kinds of videos. So watch out for that, hit the notification bell and subscribe if you want. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on the floor plan and exterior of this house. Now this house is the end game of all end games for 100 baby challenge houses for me. I decided I was going to put in everything I could absolutely ever want in a house for the 100 baby challenge, so this is like the end goal. So that's why it's massive. Everyone probably could have their own bedroom at one point, like unless you have a ton of people. And there are just plenty of activities and things for people to do. So you can probably tell that I have some sort of idea of what I'm doing for the floor plan, and that's because I looked up some floor plans on Pinterest and I used, I think, 2 or 3 combined together in order to get this shape. One of them was the main inspiration, but this area over here that I'm figuring out right now was not part of that floor plan. And I also have a very giant area which I think is supposed to be a living room, but I leave it more open so that we can have a playroom, which I am super excited about, but we'll get more into that kind of stuff in the furnishing of the video. So sorry, in the furnishing video that is. But this is just the general layout, and I wanted this house to have a really simplistic yet really happy, decorated, very nice kind of suburban vibe. So what inspired me to build this house actually was going to Ikea for the very first time in my life, because I had never been to one previously, and just going there and seeing the way that they set up their showrooms and all that, that's the furnishing style I go with in this build. And yeah, of course Ikea is known for being cheap, so like why would this house be so expensive and luxurious? But I just think that the family style of everything in Ikea really does work. And then I started building this not knowing it was going to be a 100 baby challenge house, but quickly realized that due to the massive size it would be perfect for that. So I decided that's what I was going to do. But yeah, you can see that it has a very, I don't know what to say, like jigsaw type shape, and I really like it because it actually gave me so much to play with in terms of like just the layout of everything, and especially the gardens I think turn out really well. This is definitely a more boxy type build than I would ever build. I usually like to have diagonal walls some places, and I kind of like to have a really flowing garden, but this one is very manicured, so I think that's kind of interesting. I went for that style with this one. I don't exactly remember why I did everything I did, but I do have the general, like, it was supposed to be like a cozy kind of suburban home vibe, but with the Ikea influence. So that's the general idea. The roofing was very challenging, like extremely challenging for this build, so it does take me a while to figure it out, but once I do get it, I think it looks really good. It kind of almost looks like, ends up looking churchy, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like, churches are nice looking, but for a house, I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it. I'm still not exactly sure, but the interior is definitely what I love the most about this build, so I definitely recommend you just stick around and watch that video if you can, or if you'd like to, I mean. But yeah, as you can see, like the roof, it just has so many weird places it intersects, so there are some places where the roof pitches are different. but I was trying to come up with a way that this could all like work together and still make sense. As you see here, I'm kind of trying to put a balcony over there, and I don't really remember if I even keep that. I think this ends up looking really strange. It's just, everyone who has done roofing in The Sims 4 knows how hard it is, and I think that's what prompted me to add another layer to the house, was just seeing this massive expanse of roofing that really didn't make any sense, and then seeing that if I just added like an extra layer here and there, that it might actually prevent this catastrophe from continuing on. I don't think it ends up looking too terribly in the end. I don't even remember how I finish off that little balcony, like that porch area. It's just kind of up in the air, but yeah, like I said, it's for the 100 baby challenge that I did this house. You can go check that out if you haven't already, but basically, I just wanted to make something that would be very easily separated, like you can separate out the rooms. So if I wanted to make a sim focus on something, it would be very easy. This is where I add the second floor. A lot of the rooms also I leave empty on the second floor, and that is in order to just have some flexibility later on. And then just add in things that we need that I might not have remembered to add. So yeah, some of you might be wondering, why am I making this house when I just made a new house for us to move into already, like just about a week ago? And that's because I made this house before, actually, and this is going to be one that we actually move into a lot later, if we ever get to it at all, that is. So I'm just putting this up honestly because I didn't want to leave it until we could actually afford to move into it to do the speed build. And it's also on the gallery, so you guys can get that ahead of time that way. But yeah, I'm just like decorating it up and all of that, but I thought I'm gonna do a separate video, I think, on some channel updates, but I thought this would be kind of a good video to do that, since I don't know how much I can talk about the exterior of a build, but I thought I would just throw in a few updates, so they'll be brief though. So basically what I was wanting to say is this September, which is like 10 days away, which I am not looking forward to, but this September I am returning to university after a very long break. So that means that I am not going to be able to be recording as often. Now, last time I was in university, it didn't really stop me, but that's because I was only doing university full-time and I didn't have anything else going on, and even full-time university is a pretty big commitment. But this time I also have a part-time job, so that means I'm going to have practically no time left, and I am just trying to prepare you guys for the drought of videos that is about to happen, because I will just not be able to keep up. But the plus side is I know I'm not a very big channel, so if you're really missing my content, you can just watch some of my older videos. I'm sure you haven't watched all of them, so you can check those out. And it will give a lot of time for you to get caught up, like on some of the longer series, like the 100 baby challenge. So that's the major thing. The second thing is I've been trying to vary my content a lot more by doing some Stardew Valley. I've recorded another part 3 already of that, but I said in the videos, even if no one watches this, I'm going to keep doing it as an experiment, basically. The thing is, without any feedback, the experiment isn't going very well, so yeah, I'm just wondering what you guys think about varied content. Do you want me to just do only Sims 4? Are there any games you would like me to play other than this game? Or anything you'd even just want me to check out, do like a casual type video on? Like, it would just be really nice to hear from you guys, see what you want, because I feel like I've been making a lot of fairly big decisions, considering I don't have a whole lot of time to be fixing all the mistakes I could possibly make. But I've been making fairly big decisions on my own without any feedback, so yeah, that's not to like say that I'm not grateful for what feedback I do get. It's just saying that I'm very appreciative and would really appreciate even more feedback in order to bring you guys the best content I can, because I don't do this for myself. If I did this for myself, I wouldn't be this unsure of myself. That's for sure. But I do this for you guys, and if it's not bringing pleasure to you, then it's not bringing pleasure to me. So with that out of the way, I will tell you that yeah, I'm using that brick from Get Famous again. Someone commented on one of my videos that they love the brick so much, and that is one of their favorite, like, wallpapers, I guess you would call it. And I said, yeah, it's one of my favorites too, obviously, because I'm using it on another build. And these builds are like months apart, so it has not lost its charm on me, I would say. But yeah, I really do like how this ends up looking. I don't even know what kind of build style this reminds me of. I just think that it's kind of fascinating where this came from. I'm like, I had no idea. I pulled this out of thin air, apparently. But yeah, I'm really liking the entire design of this place, and I just like rewatching the footage of making this, really, because I don't know. Is it just me, or do certain builds bring back memories? Like, I work really long and hard on all of my builds, so whenever I rewatch footage of a build, or I hop into a build I made while I was discussing something in particular, or something I watched I made while I was watching TV, then I always have that association in my head. Like, I made this build while I was watching a YouTube video, and I can recall so much of the YouTube video. So actually, that's kind of an interesting thing to bring up with regards to the school topic I was saying before, is with that in mind, if that does like bring that up, wouldn't that be such a great study tool? Because then you don't really have to study, but like you could put on like a podcast about the topic that you're interested in, and then just build, and maybe you'd remember it better. I don't know, is that just me? Maybe it's just me. But yeah, with that in mind, like, I just kind of think that's interesting, and I would be curious to see to hear if any of you have similar attachments to your builds. But yeah, I really loved those arches, those white arches, to like put a bit of detailing on the windows that otherwise wouldn't have been there. But I think I end up moving the ones that stick up when you go down to the lower floor, because I just really wanted this build to be something that's easy to look at with the walls down. Because obviously I'm going to be using it in a Let's Play, so if I'm going to do that, then it has to suit those needs, not just look pretty as a build. Unfortunately, because I really do like making builds that just look pretty. But yeah, I think all the window styles like strangely work together, and I'm super happy with how all of the styles kind of meshed into this interesting, weird, old new style thing. Like, I don't know, I like it. I'd be curious, does anyone know what kind of house would have the most similar style to this? Like, what architectural style? Because I know it looks familiar to me, but I can't place it. And yeah, I do a little bit of a more modern door on this. I think I used the one from Get Famous. I actually really do like Get Famous. I know a lot of people make kind of memes that it's a bad pack and stuff, but I really do like the furniture, at the very least, that came with it. But yeah, this style I feel like I was inspired by a particular exterior style, but I know that I wasn't, because all of the main influences that I was concerned about, I put on the inside. So yeah, I just found it interesting. I also do this kind of like patio that's not raised, which I kind of like. I kind of want to do that on more of my builds, because it's just so simple, and it still just adds some more depth to the landscaping without having to put a whole bunch of like raised foundations and stuff. that are a little bit annoying to deal with. And I think that I actually did that before you could have different foundation heights on like separate areas. Not that I would have been able to connect it to the pool anyhow, but just as a side note. So I also do this pavement in addition to the wood, just because I wanted to have like a basketball court, I think, and I wanted to have a little bit of a yard decoration feature. And I left some grass patches where I wanted to put some flowers, and yeah, I definitely put like a little bit of a grassy yard area. But yeah, this is one of the only builds where I go like full-fledged into the having like a patio exterior rather than a grass yard, because it's just not common. I don't think I've seen it in anybody's house that I know, or like even that I've visited briefly. Like, nobody in Canada has that much stone, because if we did, that would mean that you'd have to either hire like someone to shovel it, or you'd have to get like a bobcat to deal with all of that, because there's no way you would be able to shovel that much area. And I think it's illegal actually to leave it unshoveled if it's on your property and it's pavement. I'm not entirely sure about that. It might only be if other people will be walking on it, but yeah, you definitely would need to shovel that at some point, or it would just become a sheet of ice, which is never fun. Don't you just love the sounds of Canada, everyone who doesn't live here? Even if you do live here, you're probably like listening to me like, oh, why would you talk about this? It's the middle of summer in Canada, that is. Like, why would you bring that up? And sometimes I kind of like forget that, like, it's almost fall, which is like gross. Like, I know that it's like back to school for pretty much everyone, and this year is gonna be really weird, but I'm kind of curious, like, I'd love to hear about your guys' summers or winters, depending on where you lived, and like, are you excited for school to start up, is kind of what I'm wondering, because I know a lot of people are just happy to go anywhere, and that's just part of the season, but also just like, on a normal year, I'm kind of curious, are you excited to go back to school, or do you just want summer to go on forever? I know that for me, it really depended on the year. There were some years where I was like, it didn't even feel like I got a summer, we didn't go anywhere, we didn't do anything, because depending on the year, we would be able to afford a vacation or not, but basically, like, there were some years where I was just like, oh, I need to go back to school, I want to see my friends, I want to like learn something and do something. I feel like it's been forever, and then other times I'm like, I don't feel like August was even a month. Like, where did that go? So yeah, I'd be curious to hear in the comments if you're looking forward to it, and if you are in school, or if you're graduated, or you're in university, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to learn about you guys. But yeah, you can see the build is really coming together at this point. The landscaping, for sure. I really wanted to put in some trees, but I did not want them to like impede the facade of the house. And I do put in a chimney, I think, but there are no fireplaces in this house, partially because 100 baby challenge, that's just gonna get in the way, as does everything, it seems like, in The Sims 4. Every little extra thing you put in is like, oh, that sure does look nice, but your Sims are gonna set all their dirty dishes on it, and it's gonna break your lot, and just stuff like that. Like, they're just things that the Sims team needs to work out, because a lot of the builds aren't practical in The Sims 4, even if they would be extremely practical in real life. Like, a ton of storage in The Sims 4, unfortunately, is just, it's kind of a nightmare, because the Sims don't know how to use it, and you don't actually store things in the storage, you store it in the catalog, which is interesting. I'd almost like to see in an update or in The Sims 5 a realistic storage system, because then you have a reason to buy that storage, other than for books, where it's like per storage closet or something, you have a capacity to hold however many items, and like, of course it wouldn't be realistic. Like, you can't just store a fridge in a closet along with like a bunch of knickknacks and stuff. It just doesn't work like that. But just like, it would add a little bit of realism, even if it doesn't make perfect sense. I would personally like that. I don't think it would impede the gameplay that much because I don't hardly hold anything in my household inventory anyway. I don't know about you guys, so I think it would just be kind of fun, and then there'd be a reason for builders to have that realism in their house. So yeah, I'm just doing like this little garden. I kind of try to keep it to the same flowers. I know a lot of builders are big on the don't use too many variety of plants because it'll look weird kind of thing. I have never been like that. I'm like, use all of the plants. Plants everywhere, doesn't matter, they look great. But I do see the merit in using only just like a few special ones. So I tried that little theory out, and I'm gonna say I liked the result, but it was so hard. It was so difficult not to just go crazy and use every single flower there is. And I only remember this because I was struggling so hard to find every single plant that could possibly work in this yard, because I didn't want to overdo it. And I was like, well, what if they're right? What if it just looks tacky? But I honestly don't think so. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks tacky to have too many different varieties of plants or not? But yeah, I'm just finishing up the pool area here. I think it looks super sweet. I don't think I put in a diving board. And then I realized I wanted a fountain feature, which I am about to do a thing which I am super proud of. I don't even know. There's no practical use of this little area that I put in. I just love it anyway. It's just like, at first I tried, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be so cool if I had like fountains going across. But then I was like, in what universe does that actually make any sense? I don't know. Maybe I do stick with that. I don't think that I do. Maybe I do. I don't know. But anyway, I really like it. It's a nice decoration. I kind of thought it would be more like a walkway to the pool though, so I might get rid of those fountains, I might not. I can always get rid of them later though. But yeah, I put on this awning and I really like it. I think it looks so like realistic. It's just like a little, I don't know, just like a little feature. Like obviously you'd have to be super rich to even consider doing this because it's completely useless, but I think it looks great, and it just separates out the yard a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of getting to the end of the video now, and yeah, like I said, the next part will be out very, very soon with all the furnishing and such, but there aren't going to be any screenshots for this video because I'm pretty sure you can tell what it looks like from the outside, but there will definitely be screenshots in the end of the next video. It'll be a bit of a longer one, but I'll have a lot more to talk about, don't you worry. And yeah, thanks for sticking around to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I really do appreciate every single one of you who watches my videos. And yeah, don't be shy. I'd love to get to know you. Like I said, I'm always hoping for feedback, so yeah, if you would be so kind as to let me know anything really, like just anything at all, I would be super happy to have a discussion with you even in the comments. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna leave you with the last few seconds of the build, so I hope you have a great day. Goodbye!